Good morning. If you're seeing this later and not live, I didn't really give everybody a heads up that I was doing this video. This is actually just kind of something that I wanted to squeeze in when I had some time. It's not really something that you need to watch live, so don't feel disappointed if you're not live. This is something that can definitely be watched after the fact. If you have questions, write down the question, ask me during class or another opportunity. Basically, what I'm going to try to do is designate some vital striking points on Bob here, because um, the advantage to training with Bob is that you have realistic anatomy. Granted, if somebody with Bob's physique comes at you aggressively and they're angry with you, maybe you should just apologize because Bob, if he had arms and legs, would probably be kind of dangerous. So, in this situation here, we already have pretty realistic appearance, and I can teach everybody, hey, this is what you want to aim for, this is what you want to aim for. But sometimes it can be easier if we just mark spots. And in martial arts, we've been doing that for a long time, even going back to the Chinese acupuncture and how they use some of that knowledge for where they wanted to hit in martial arts training. So I'm going to reference a few things here. I'm going to start with um, my teacher in Okinawa made a training contraption. It looks like this. You can see all these little vital points there. So I'm going to start with that because, he's the teacher of our system. So we probably want to hit the spots that he says are good to hit. There's going to be maybe some other spots too that we're going to hit. And there might be some that maybe I question a couple on here, but that's okay. I think it's okay. Well, and some of it's just how things are drawn because, you know, I think he did pretty good. Um, so we'll start with the throat area, and cross referencing. There's actually in um, a lot of martial arts we have right here this spot. That's a good target. There's sometimes it's called the jugular notch right there, and I want to see what this is called because there's a few different things it might be called based on if we're using English words or we're talking about the nerve points or we're just talking general anatomy. Um, so it could be called um, the suprasternal fossa. All right, could be suprasternal fossa, could be jugular notch. In karate, we might say nodo, but I think nodo we could talk about this. We could also talk about here. I think those are both actually pretty good spots to strike. Let me see if in Kinjo Kaicho's diagram, I can't tell that he did both of those. He might have just kind of lumped them into one, but you could probably do either. You could hit here or you could hit here. So I'm going to actually mark both of those. If you hit here, you're pushing in, kind of causing a little bit of like that choking, gagging reflex. And there's also a vital point there. You can push down to kind of control somebody and sit them down. That's something that might be used in like a law enforcement context to control somebody. You just have to kind of always be careful. Anytime you get your hand in this area and you're not accelerating it really fast, you've got to worry about them trying to bite you, which don't want to get bit by anybody. All right. So we're going to start with that one. So we've got this spot right here. And I'm also going to mark up here on the windpipe. Now that's a pretty deadly hit because if you actually hit hard enough that you crush that windpipe, then they'd probably need some medical help to try to survive. And since this one's more of like a law enforcement spot, I'm doing good today. Hello. I'm gonna do like a dark blue here too. And maybe, let's see, maybe I should just go around it with the blue. I'm not sure that that blue with the black is necessarily very visible. It's not visible to me, and I'm right here. In fact, let me see if this light turns on any brighter. I don't think it does, but... Oh, wow. Yeah, there's an idea. Maybe if I'm doing a video that I'm expecting people to try to be able to see, hi, maybe I should actually have the brightness up. Okay, live and learn. All right, so next, I'm gonna see what else we have here. Eyes. I think eyes are a pretty important one. So I also have the Bubishi here. It's a book. There's vital points in it. So I'm referencing that. So black is going to be kind of karate, martial arts targets, and some of those could be lethal. Some of those could just be severe damage or immediate interfering with how well they can fight or function. And then blue is going to be law enforcement applications. It's probably going to be more like stunning, nerve motor dysfunction, stuff like that. Not necessarily severe damage. Hi. So let's see what else we have. What do I want to do next? All right, so on this diagram, it's got these ones up by the clavicle. All right, so he's got ones by the clavicle. There's also in the Bubishi, this one, it's got ones that are, looks like it's in like that clavicle notch. So you can hit with a shuto or a kote strike, you can hit the clavicle itself. Even a downward furihiji uchi, you can hit that clavicle sakots, is what we call in karate, sakots. And you can potentially try to break that bone, but there's also a nerve motor point where you might attack with a kakoshiken strike, or just trying to grab and like push somebody down like that. So we're gonna do a black mark for both of those actually. So we're gonna do the collarbone here. And then we're gonna get back in this notch here. So clavicle, collarbone, sakots, and then we're gonna go back here inside that notch. All right. Now, since we're in this region, there's also nerve motor point called the suprascapular right here. And that's not necessarily something that I would attack from the front. So it's going to be right here, right on top of that trapezius muscle. And it looks like it's pretty much right by where the trapezius joins with the neck. See if I'm wrong here. I think I'm right. Yeah, it's right where it joins the neck. All right, so application for that would probably be more like you're coming up from behind somebody, and you're trying to get a little bit of a surprise, and so you could hit like that boom. But I wouldn't count on just hitting there because they might just turn around and beat you up. I would be hitting here and then trying to pull them down. And stomp the back of the knee, pull them down from there. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket here, so you can't necessarily count on like, hey, this motor point is gonna just like put them out of commission. No, like you hit them, it's a point of reference. Try to hit them here with this kind of attack, and then if that doesn't work, you follow up with something else, right? So we're gonna do blue, dark blue, right at these spots here. Spot here. All right. Bob looking like he has some kind of disease. All right. We're not gonna do tons of the blue ones, but there's a few. All right, got the eyes. The eyes are a big one. Eyes and ears and temples. All right. So, eye. I'm not necessarily sure that that's super important to mark on him because eyes are pretty obvious. Let's do temples. Actually need to come up a little bit here. Find out how washable this is. Ooh, very washable actually. So I'm doing this with washable markers, which the advantage is that I could just wash it off later. I think we'll call that a stopping point for now here.